in time for Black History Month. I just want to thank my subscribers, the few of y'all that stuck by me through all of this, through the posting, not posting, and the changes of the channel. I just want to thank you personally for continue to come back and look at the station. I just enjoy talking about these type of things, so I'm glad to be back myself. And for those that don't know, Sully, aka the Eclectic Blerd, and today we're going to be doing What's Happening in These Nerd Streets, episode 2. This one is going to basically concentrate the most on the new DC slate of movies, TV, gaming, etc. This episode, we're going to be concentrating mostly on the DC slate of movies, TVs, gaming that has been announced. I'm getting my information from what I saw James Gunn put out as the co-CEO. And I'm going to probably use a fan-made photo by Heroes Reforged. And if you're not a subscriber to their channel, go on over there and subscribe to their channel. It's a good channel. I like them. But they did this graphic that kind of encapsulated everything that's going on with the DC slate. And I'm just going to probably touch on things and really kind of not break down, not get into the analytics and all the other good stuff. I'm pretty new to this comic thing, but I'm going to talk about what I'm most excited for, though. So, hope you enjoy. So first, we're going to talk about how they split it up. So they basically, the chapter 1 is called Gods and Monsters, and they basically created something called DC Elseworlds, and that's basically where they're putting stuff like Matt Reeves' Batman, the Superman and Lois TV show, Teen Titans Go, and things of that nature. So when they do this Joker, when they do second movies, it's a DC movie, but it's not tied to the DCU, which is what they're calling the new 8 to 10 year plan for what they're going to be doing, intertwining the movies going forward. So for those people that kind of like those movies, they're still going to be doing them, but it's not going to be tied to the actual DCU. And for me, I'm not a big fan of the Joker and those other movies, but I know a lot of people are, so you'll still be able to enjoy those, so the sequels did not get canceled. So to start off, there's movies that they already kind of started filming, and so that they're gonna actually be part of the DCU. First of all, I know a lot of people thought Jason Momoa was gonna be leaving, but they're actually doing a Aquaman film, part 2. So I don't know if it's because they're contractual obligations or if they just like him as an actor, but so he's gonna be kind of part of the DCU, but it's not 100% that he's going to stay there. We don't know. They're doing, of course, Shazam! Fury of the Gods, which is actually coming out, so we're guessing that it's tied together, but I don't think it's 100% tied, but it was movies that they felt like could add to the story and possibly be a part of intertwining the beginning of what they want to be a part of the DC universe. The Zachary Levi did some stuff, so I don't know how many people are really gonna be too happy about him right now, but we'll see. It's just gonna be played by ear. Now, the movie that a lot of people are up and down on is The Flash, because Ezra Miller been in so much trouble, and for some reason they just keeping him. So this movie got to be the best movie ever created, because they're not canceling it. They're keeping him as the character. And they keep saying that it's going to be used to reset. Now, I don't know a lot about comic books, but I know that there's this thing called Flashpoint where Flash kind of resets everything. And I think that's what they're going to try to use in this movie in order to reset what they're going to be doing in the DC universe with characters and stuff, which will allow them to have some old characters to stay and bring in new characters. So it just depends. But we'll see. And just for your information, I am basically from a DC standpoint, I just knew the core characters like Superman, Batman, Catwoman, Joker, just the main characters, the core characters. But I'm excited and nervous to see what happens because I like the Marvel movies and I've been waiting on DC to catch up because I like them too. I just want to enjoy as a comic book fan, especially movies, that they all bring me joy and I don't have to be like, oh, why is this so good and the other one's so bad? So I'm excited. But at that point, that's when they're also going to be doing a Blue Beetle movie, which is kind of to itself, but it's also going to tie into the new DC universe. And for this one, it depends on who they bring in it because that movie hasn't come out yet. We don't know who the character's going to be in it or anything. So even though it's a little separate, it's still kind of the introduction to the new DC universe. And so I'm a little bit excited about that just because it's a different type character that I would love to see on screen. So that's it for the introductory type of, I'll say, movies and TV shows, etc. Now, some of this other stuff is going to be introductory, but I'm going to, according to what Heroes Before Us did and what James Gunn has said, and I think the name is Robert Safran or something like that, what they've kind of put out in articles, these next slate of movies are actually in the DCU, even though they might have stuff that's already come out and they may have some old characters staying and all that good stuff. But this is kind of the crux of what I want to get into and what I'm going to be the most excited about. So now let's get into what they are exclaiming to be basically the DC universe. And according to James Gunn, they're basically going to be using the same characters for TV shows, animation, gaming, and movies. And the first thing they're going to be doing, which I don't have any idea about, is called Creature Commandos. It's animation. I don't know. So I don't know if I should be excited, not excited, or anything. So for that one, I basically have no comment. But the one that I'm most excited about is Waller. And it's going to be a TV series basically on HBO Max. And I cannot wait. Amanda Waller is my favorite character that got introduced in the previous DCEU universe. It's played by Viola Davis. And she's so great in the character, and I just cannot wait what direction they're going to go with it. Oh, I can't wait. She's my favorite character. So I'm hoping they Nick Fury her and just kind of put her throughout the entire universe. I'll be very happy if that happens because she's so good at playing a part and I love her so much. And I can't wait for the series. Of all the things that's coming, this is the one thing that I know I'm going to watch when it comes out. Like some other things, because of life, I have to put off. I have to watch later. I can't go to the movie. It just depends on what's happening in my life at the time. But this one, I'm going to make time to make sure that I'm watching this on HBO Max when it comes out. And I'm hoping that it's a week to week and not a all release binge thing, because I like the week to week because it gives you a chance to watch and kind of take in what's happening and discuss and then get to the next one. So I hope it's week to week, personally. Next, they have what they say is going to reset everything, which is Superman Legacy. Superman is a character that I know, my very first comic that I fell in love with Superman comics way back in the day. And so I got into Superman comics, and then I stopped doing comics for a long time in my life. It took, I don't know, 20-something years later, I'm back into the comic book world doing everything now, but Superman was the main one that I read. And when I was reading Superman, it was more of a hope-driven Superman. It wasn't the one that everybody loved from Zack Snyder and all this. There's always been conflict, but it's always him understanding who he is and how it's going to affect humans because he's so much stronger and he's just trying to do the right thing. And sometimes doing the right thing is not doing the right thing. And so I'm excited about that. James Gunn is actually writing Superman Legacy, and that's really coming out July 11, 2025. And that's really where they say it's the full, really 100% beginning. But again, I'm hoping Amanda Waller end up in it at the end of it because I really love her character. But I'm excited for that because I liked all the Supermans. I like Cavill as Superman. I like what was happening. I wasn't a big fan of the Batman vs. Superman or even Justice League and how they treated the Superman character per se. But in general, I liked how he played Superman. And I liked Superman as a whole of the things that he's going through. But I feel like he was a little bit more cynical than the Superman that I grew up reading and watching. And so I'm excited about that. And after Superman Legacy, what the hell next? Let me go look and see. Oh, Lanterns. Now, I know a lot of people that are Green Lantern super fans, so they're excited. Me, personally, I mean, make somebody powerful, it's okay. No, I'm just kidding. I know how important Green Lantern is to a lot of people. And for them to put it kind of in like a detective kind of thing so they can put multiple lanterns in the show. It's going to be a TV show and not a movie. And so that's going to be interesting. So we'll see how the Lantern show go and if it's going to be any good. Now that one, I may watch when it come out. I may not. It just depends. I'm not a big Green Lantern fan, as you can tell from my really bad joke. And after Lanterns, what do they have after Lanterns? I think that's the Paradise Lost. That's right. Paradise Lost is what's next. Now that one is where, if you don't know, this is where Wonder Woman was born. And so it's going to be, it seems like it's going to be a prequel and dealing with them, or maybe not, but it's going to be with them dealing with just general life and who's in charge and the family dynamics and the queens and maybe other people trying to come into their land and, you know, who wants to run it. But I don't know. He kind of mentioned Game of Thrones. I have to admit something. I never watched it. I watched clips, which I think are interesting, but I never really watched Game of Thrones like that. So that seems interesting, but we'll see how it go. But, you know, and then, so I know a lot of people are excited about that, but I'm going to see how good that is. But I know it's going to be I think it's going to be pretty good. It'll be an interesting take on it, and it's going to introduce a lot of new characters. Maybe introduce characters in newer comic books, but we'll see. So next, they have what they're calling Batman the Brave and the Bold. And if you know me, I'm not a big Batman fan either. And it's kind of the opposite of my feelings of Superman, or how much I love Superman and how I felt like they kind of took away some of the giving hope to people in him. Now, Batman, there have been 1,000 iterations of Batman. Everybody think he's the best character, and so they're bringing him in. But I saw some people online saying, wait, this is like the 4th Robin, and he's Batman's son. Why are y'all starting here? I don't know. And frankly, I don't care. I'm not a big Batman fan. I'm going to watch it because, hey, I like comic book stuff. But that doesn't mean I have to enjoy it. No, I'm playing. I really hope it's good because I'm really, really hoping that this DC slate of movies and TV show are good so we can have Marvel and DC stuff going at the same time and that we can all enjoy everything, specifically the people that, like me, that likes Marvel comics and DC comics both. So we shall see. Now, the people that go against each other, they can have fights. But for people like me, we're going to be living in heaven. And so after that, they get into Booster Gold. And the way they explained Booster Gold was he came from the future with futuristic things to try to be a hero, but he's basically dealing with imposter syndrome, and that, you know, he's just some regular guy. He's just from the future, so it make it seem like he's a hero when theoretically he's really not. It's kind of like what's that show with the cartoon where the kid came back with all these toys because the Incredibles. He's like the villain on there, but I may be wrong because I only saw one comic with Booster Gold in. It's because I was reading the Hanna-Barbera run when they did the Hanna-Barbera run with DC a few years back. But we shall see. And the next thing is Supergirl. Now this Supergirl is going to be one where it's going to be more of a sci-fi movie. It's going to be a movie. It's going to be more of a sci-fi movie. And it's going to be based on Superman's cousin. But she's not going to be all hopeful like Superman because she's been on Krypton which got destroyed. So she had to watch people die and live in a dilapidated area and not be given love the way Clark was giving it. So that seems like a very interesting concept. So I think I'm excited to see that. And so I am a little bit excited about that. But again, it's kind of in the family of one of the core characters that I grew up loving. So that'll be exciting. And the last one is Swamp Thing. Now, they've done a lot of things with Swamp Thing in the past. So we shall see how this goes. Sometimes I love Swamp Thing, sometimes I don't. So I don't know what I'm going to feel about it. But this is the last thing that they really announced that they're going to be doing. And so we shall see. And they said it's kind of separate, but it's intertwined as well. Again, hey, could Amanda Waller show up at the end of everything? All these movies, on the TV shows? Possibly. I hope she does. Like I said, I hope she's the Nick Fury of this DCU. And so basically that's everything that they announced that I saw. And so I didn't get into too many articles and all that good stuff, but I just wanted to come on here and kind of talk about that a little bit, just to show that I'm excited and I can't wait for it. And so right now, I talked earlier to thank all my current subscribers. And if you sat through this video, thank you for sitting through it. And go ahead and give this channel a subscribe, get the video a like. I just come on here and talk about different things. I'm eclectic in the things that I like. And so we talk about different things. This particular post is basically what I call what's happening in these nerd streets. And that's where we just talk about topics that I find interesting. That theoretically other people might call geeky or nerdish. And so I hope you enjoyed this video. Again, give a subscribe and like. Until next time, I'm out.